The wicked fear what they cannot break, and the devil's greatest agony is loving what he cannot own. They thought they could shatter you. They thought their tricks, their lies, their darkness would consume you like it has consumed so many before. But you stood. You faced them with the kind of stillness that shakes the foundations of hell itself. They wanted you weak, but your silence made them tremble. They wanted you afraid, but your presence alone became their torment. They wanted to devour you, yet here they are, starving, desperate, obsessed. This is not just another message. This is war. The battlefield is unseen, but the war is real. And chosen ones, you are the last thing they ever expected. A force they cannot predict, a storm they cannot outrun. They whisper, they plot, they attack. But every move they make only exposes their own fragility. You are not just resisting them, you are unraveling them. If this message speaks to you, if you feel the fire in your soul, if you know deep down that you were never meant to fit into this world, like and subscribe. Let this message spread. The more chosen ones awaken, the weaker the enemy becomes. The more you rise, the more their illusions shatter. And YouTube? It sees when a message is rising. Every like, every comment, every share signals that this truth cannot be silenced. You were never ordinary. You were never meant to be. While others blend into the background, your very existence is a disturbance. Your light is not just seen, it is felt, and it haunts them. You walk into a room, and suddenly, masks slip, shadows scatter, and fake smiles falter. People feel something when you're near. The weak feel exposed, the wicked feel watched, and the lost? They feel hope for the first time in years. A devil has fallen in love with you, and they don't even understand why. They've manipulated kings, broken warriors, corrupted saints, but you are their paradox. They came with destruction, yet they find themselves craving your presence. They tried to break you, yet they are the ones unraveling. They wanted to consume you, but now they are consumed by you. You didn't fight them. You didn't run. You didn't beg for mercy. You just stood in your truth, and that alone sent cracks through their entire foundation. That's the power of the chosen. Your existence alone is a judgment, a reckoning, a mirror they cannot escape. They call you different, strange, unshaken, and that terrifies them because deep down, they know they can never be what you are. Your strength does not come from the world. Your power is not borrowed from the systems they control. It is woven into your very being. And that's why they come for you. Not to win, but to see if they can handle you. And no one has ever handled them like you have. Number 1, the devil's hunger. When darkness craves what it cannot possess. A thief never admires what he can steal. He desires what he can never own. They came for you with destruction in their hands, believing they could tear you down like they have done to so many before. But now, here they are, obsessed, restless, tormented. They never planned to love you. They came to conquer, but instead they are enslaved. They tried to pull you into their world, but now they can't escape yours. This is their torment. They wanted to break you, yet now they kneel before the very power they sought to destroy. You were never supposed to be here, not in their eyes. You weren't supposed to survive their attacks. You weren't supposed to walk away untouched. You weren't supposed to look them in the eyes and stand firm when others before you crumbled. They have broken kings, shattered warriors, corrupted saints. But you stand, untouched by their poison, unmoved by their temptations, unchanged by their darkness. And that is why they are haunted. That is why they are consumed. This is not love. This is hunger. a hunger that devours them from the inside because they know they will never have you. They have played every trick, pulled every string, whispered every lie, and yet you remain beyond their reach. You are the one thing they cannot own, the one soul they cannot claim, the one light they cannot dim, and that burns them more than the fires they dwell in. Ask yourself, why you? Why not anyone else? The answer is simple. You are not like anyone else. Others beg, others fall, others lose themselves in the illusions they create. But you cannot be swayed. Your presence alone unsettles their foundations. You walk into a room and suddenly their masks don't fit as well. Their lies sound hollow. Their power feels weak. You don't expose them. You don't have to. Your existence alone is enough to tear down the illusions they built. And that's why they can't leave you alone. That's why they keep coming back. It isn't because they love you. It's because you are a mirror they cannot escape. You reflect everything they are not, everything they can never be. They were once convinced they held all the power, but you shattered that illusion without even trying. They don't understand why they can't stop thinking about you, why your presence lingers in their mind like a ghost they cannot banish. They don't understand why their own darkness feels weaker in your light. But deep down, they know what you are, and that terrifies them. A flame does not chase the moth, yet the moth cannot resist the fire. They will try to pull you in one last time. They will try to make you question yourself, make you wonder if maybe, just maybe, you belong to them. If maybe you were meant to be theirs. If maybe this hunger they feel is something divine. Do not be fooled. Do not be moved. You were never meant to be owned. You were never meant to be caught in their web. You were meant to rise, untouchable, untamed, undeniable. The devil's hunger will never be satisfied. No matter how close they get, no matter how much they try to control you, they will always be left starving. Because the one thing they desire most, the purity of your soul, the strength of your spirit, the fire in your essence, is the one thing they can never consume. And that is your power. That is what haunts them. Not your love, not your kindness, not even your light, but the fact that no matter how hard they try, they will never be able to possess you. They can have the world, but they will never have you. So let them hunger, let them burn, let them suffer in their own obsession, because you were never theirs to begin with. Number 2, unholy desire, the fire that burns but never consumes. A curse is not the chains that bind you, but the hunger that can never be satisfied. They wanted a taste, believing that one touch, one moment, one whisper would be enough to claim you. But now they are drowning in their own obsession, trapped in a fire that will never die. They came thinking they could devour you, but instead they are the ones being consumed. They crave you like a forbidden fruit, yet every taste only deepens their hunger. Every moment they spend near you only makes the void inside them wider. Every attempt to control you only proves how powerless they truly are. This is not love. This is torment. Not for you, for them. Because they have never wanted anything they couldn't have. They have never longed for something that remained just out of reach. Everything they ever desired, they have taken. Everything they ever touched, they have ruined. But you are untouchable, and that is their suffering. They thought they could pull you into their world, twist you, change you, make you one of them. They thought their darkness could dim your light. But now, they are the ones being changed. They are the ones who cannot think straight, who cannot escape you, who cannot breathe without feeling the weight of your presence. They were the predator, but now they are the prey, chasing a ghost they will never catch, reaching for a flame that will never let them rest. A thief does not weep for what he steals, but for what slips through his fingers. And you see it, you feel it, you know it. Their obsession is not a compliment, it is a confession. A confession that for all their power, all their control, all their games, they have finally met something beyond their reach. They have finally encountered something they cannot possess, something they cannot manipulate, something they cannot bend to their will, and it terrifies them. They once believed they were untouchable. They once believed they held the strings to everything around them. They once believed they could conquer anything, anyone. But now, they are the ones unraveling. Now, they are the ones questioning everything. Now, they are the ones feeling weak, helpless, lost. And that is the greatest punishment of all, not to lose you, but to realize they never had you to begin with. They will try to convince themselves otherwise. They will tell themselves they have control. They will try to pull you back in, make you second guess, make you wonder if maybe, just maybe, there is something real in all of this. But you know better. You know the truth. You were never meant to be theirs. A flame does not love the moth, yet the moth will always chase the fire. They will chase you for eternity, and for eternity they will suffer. Because no matter how close they get, they will never reach you. No matter how much they try to possess you, you will always be beyond them. No matter how much they burn for you, you will never be consumed. And that is your power. That is what makes you untouchable. You do not need to fight them. You do not need to break them. You do not even need to hate them. You only need to exist. Your presence alone is enough to set them on fire. Let them hunger. Let them suffer. Let them burn. Because this is their fate, their curse, their torment, longing for something they will never own, chasing a light that will never dim, starving for a soul they were never meant to touch. And you walk away, untouched, unshaken, undefeated. You were never theirs. You never will be. Number 3, the chosen's curse, love that terrifies, presence that haunts. To be untouchable is to be unforgettable. To be unshaken is to be feared. They love you, but it is not a love that brings peace. It is a love that torments, a love that consumes, a love that rips them apart from the inside out. Because loving you was never supposed to happen. Wanting you was never part of their plan. You were supposed to fall like the rest. You were supposed to bend, to break, to lose yourself in their illusion. But instead, you stood. Instead, you became the nightmare they never saw coming. Now, your presence haunts them. Your silence echoes in their mind. Your absence weighs heavier than any punishment they've ever known. They cannot escape you, no matter how far they run, no matter how much they distract themselves, no matter how deeply they try to bury the truth. You live in them now, not as a memory, not as a possession, but as a wound that will never heal. The wicked do not fear the dark. They fear the one who walks through it untouched. They should have never touched you. They should have never tested you, because now they know. Now they have seen what they were never meant to understand. You were not meant to be handled. You were not meant to be controlled. And the worst part? They cannot unsee it. They cannot forget it. They cannot erase the mark you have left upon them. This is the chosen's curse. Not that you suffer, but that your existence alone brings suffering to those who once thought themselves untouchable. They came to break you, but now they are the ones broken. They tried to haunt you, but now they are the ones haunted. They thought they held the power, but now they tremble at the power you never even had to prove. You never had to fight them. You never had to destroy them. You only had to be. And that alone unraveled everything they believed about themselves. A shadow does not chase the sun, yet it cannot exist without it. They will never admit it. They will never tell you how your presence stripped them of their illusions, how your strength exposed their weakness, how your very existence forced them to face the truth they spent lifetimes avoiding. But you know, you see it, you feel it, the tension in their voice, the flicker of hesitation in their eyes, the way they look at you as if you are something they will never understand, because they don't understand you, and they never will. They thought you were like them. They thought you would play their game. They thought you would respond to manipulation, to fear, to control. But you didn't. You don't play by their rules because you were never bound by them. And that is why they can never win. That is why they are left in pieces, lost, spiraling, searching for something they will never find again. They do not grieve losing you. They grieve losing themselves in the presence of something greater. You were the reckoning they never saw coming, and now they will live with that weight forever. They will love you forever, but it is a love that will suffocate them, a love that will never bring them peace, a love that will torment them for the rest of their existence. Because they didn't love you for what you gave them, they loved you for what they could never take. And that is the final truth, the truth they will never escape. They do not miss you. They do not long for you. They long for the version of themselves that they lost in your presence. They long for the power they once believed they had before you proved them wrong. They long for the illusion they can never return to. You were their beginning. You were their end. And now you walk away, untouched, unshaken, undefeated. Let them haunt themselves. Let them suffer in the silence you left behind. Let them learn what it means to love something they will never hold, because that is the curse of the chosen. Not that you suffer, but that you leave them suffering forever. Number 4, you were never one of them, and that's why they fear you. They never feared losing you. They feared the fact that you never needed them to begin with. They look at you like you're strange, like you don't belong, like you're something unnatural. They call you different, like it's an insult. But deep down, they know that's exactly why they can't touch you. That's exactly why they can't control you. That's exactly why they fear you. Because you were never one of them. You never moved like them. You never thought like them. You never followed their rules because their rules were built on illusions. And you see right through them. They spent their whole lives shaping themselves into something hollow, something weak, something that could blend in with the crowd. But you refused. You stood in your own truth, your own power, your own energy, and that's why they can't stand you. A wolf does not lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. They talk about you, they whisper, they judge. But it's not because you're wrong, it's because you're free. Free in a way they will never be. Free in a way that threatens everything they built their fragile identities on. You don't seek approval. You don't need validation. You don't bow to the systems they serve, and that alone is enough to shake them. They spent their whole lives trying to fit in. You spent yours realizing you were never meant to, and that is why they fear you. You do not fear exile. You do not fear rejection. You do not fear standing alone. Because unlike them, you were never searching for a place to belong. You were always meant to create your own. They are afraid, not because you are different, but because you have the strength to stand alone. They want you to doubt yourself. They want you to shrink. They want you to question why you don't fit in, why you don't see the world the way they do. But the truth? You were never meant to. You were never designed to be part of their system. You were meant to rise above it. And that is what they fear the most, that you don't need them, that you never did, and that you never will. So let them talk. Let them watch. Let them feel their own fear when they look at you and realize you were never part of their world, because you were always meant to stand apart. Number 5. You are the storm. They feared the rain, but you brought the hurricane. They prepared for a drizzle, but you arrived as a flood. Now, they're drowning in everything they tried to destroy you with. They underestimated you. They mistook your silence for weakness, your patience for surrender, your calm for submission. They thought you were just another wave in an ocean they controlled, something they could ride, something they could predict, something they could swallow whole. But you were never just a wave. You were the storm. And now, they're drowning. They wanted to break you, but instead, they awakened something unstoppable. They sent winds to shake you, but you became the hurricane that tore through everything in your path. They tried to contain you, but now they are the ones gasping for air, trapped in the wreckage of their own making. A storm does not explain itself. It does not ask for permission. It simply comes, and when it leaves, nothing remains the same. They wanted you soft. They wanted you quiet. They wanted you to follow, obey, kneel. But the moment they tried to cage you, they realized they had made a fatal mistake. You were never meant to be controlled. You were never meant to bow. And now they are learning that the hard way. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to prove anything. Because a storm does not chase. It arrives. A storm does not ask. It takes. And right now, your presence alone is sweeping through their illusions, tearing apart their false sense of control and leaving them exposed. They feared the rain, thinking that was the worst you could bring. But you brought the hurricane. You brought the force they were never prepared for. You brought the reckoning they never saw coming. They built their kingdom on sand, and now they wonder why they're sinking. Let them drown in the consequences of their own arrogance. Let them watch as everything they tried to do to you comes back to them like a tidal wave. Let them feel the weight of what it means to cross a force that cannot be stopped. You are not here to be handled. You are not here to be understood. You are here to change everything. So keep moving, keep rising, keep being the force they swore could never exist. Because they are finally realizing they never feared losing control. They feared you having it. Number 6. Your light is their judgment, the mirror they can't escape. A lie can live in the dark for eternity, but the moment it meets the light, it dies gasping for air. They never feared judgment until they saw themselves in you. You did not come to destroy them. You did not come to expose them. You simply existed, and that was enough. That was the reckoning they never saw coming, because in your presence, the masks slip, the illusions shatter. The shadows they hide behind are burned away by the fire in your soul. They hate you for it, not because you have done anything to them, but because for the first time they are forced to look at themselves with no lies to shield them. Your presence alone is a mirror they cannot escape, and what they see staring back at them is everything they have spent lifetimes running from. A man does not despise the light unless he has something to hide in the dark. They wanted to believe they were untouchable, that their manipulations, their games, their false power could not be challenged. But you never played their game. You never followed their script. And that is what destroyed them, because now they cannot hide from the truth. They see the weakness behind their power. They see the fear behind their arrogance. They see the hollowness in everything they thought made them untouchable. And the worst part, they know they can never go back. Because once you have seen the truth, the lie can never feel real again. They resent you. They obsess over you. They cannot let you go, not because of what you did, but because of what you are, living proof that they are not who they pretend to be. A shadow cannot exist without the light, but the light does not need the shadow to shine. They will try to fight it. They will try to convince themselves that you are the problem, that you are the one who changed everything. But deep down, they know you did not change anything. You simply revealed what was already there. And that is why they fear you. That is why they cannot escape you. Because no matter where they go, no matter how far they run, the truth follows them. You are the mirror that shattered their illusions. You are the light that burned through their deception. And now they must live with the reality they spent so long trying to deny. Let them fear. Let them hate. Let them run. Because the truth does not chase. It simply exists. And you, chosen one, are the truth they will never unsee. Number 7. Their darkness can't drown you, but your light drowns them. A storm can flood the land, but it will never put out the sun. They came with their chaos, their manipulation, their poison, thinking they could pull you under. They have drowned many before you, suffocated souls, stolen destinies, extinguished lights before they could ever shine. But you did not sink. You did not even struggle. You simply stood, untouched, unbothered, watching as their storm raged around you, but never touched the core of who you are. And that is what destroyed them. Not your anger, not your retaliation, but the simple, undeniable fact that their darkness had no power over you. They wanted to see you break, to watch you crumble, to prove to themselves that even you could fall. But instead, they were the ones falling, spiraling deeper into their own emptiness, suffocating under the weight of a battle they never truly had control over. A candle doesn't chase away the dark, it simply shines, and the darkness flees on its own. They cannot understand why you are still here, why their schemes failed, why their manipulation didn't work. They threw everything at you, lies, betrayal, doubt, fear, but you remained, and worse, you grew stronger. Their darkness was supposed to consume you, but instead, your light expanded, swallowing them whole. Now, they are the ones gasping for air. They are the ones drowning in their own abyss, unable to pull you down with them. And the more they try, the more they realize the truth. It is not you who is trapped in their world. It is they who are trapped in yours. They thought power was about control, about bending others to their will, about making people fear them. But now, as they stand before you, powerless, shaken, desperate for something they cannot grasp, they finally understand. True power is not in destruction. True power is in presence, in silence, in unshakable certainty. A wildfire does not fight the wind. It lets the wind spread its flames. And you are that fire. You do not need to strike back. You do not need to lower yourself to their level. You only need to be. And that alone is enough to send cracks through their entire foundation. Let them fear you. Let them watch as their own darkness turns against them. Let them choke on the emptiness they once tried to bury you in, because their darkness never had the power to drown you. But your light will drown them forever. Number 8. The transformation when the predator becomes prey. A hunter who cannot claim his prey is no longer a hunter. He is a desperate fool chasing a ghost. They came for you like they always have, like they always do. Calculated, confident, certain that you would be just another conquest, another soul to add to their collection. They have played this game before. They have broken minds, shattered spirits, twisted hearts. They thought you would be no different. But now they are the ones running. Now they are the ones haunted. Now they are the ones looking over their shoulder, realizing that what they chased was never theirs to catch. This was never a battle of strength. It was never about who could overpower who. It was about endurance. It was about truth. It was about standing so still, so unshaken, that they lost themselves trying to break you. The spider weaves the web, but what happens when the fly refuses to be caught? They never expected this. They thought you would panic. They thought you would struggle, beg, plead. They thought you would react the way everyone else has. But you didn't fight them. You didn't even run. You simply existed in a way they could never understand. And that was the moment everything shifted. Because this isn't about love. It isn't about control. It isn't even about power anymore. This is obsession. This is madness. This is the unraveling of everything they once believed about themselves. They were the predator, the one who pulled the strings, the one who dictated the game. But now, the game is playing them. Now, they are the ones trapped, circling the same thoughts, reliving the same moments, chasing something they will never hold. A beast with no control is not a beast. It is a slave to its own hunger. They didn't see it coming. That moment where their tricks stopped working. That moment where the mask slipped and you were still standing there, unbothered, untouched, undefeated. They didn't see the trap they walked into. Not one you set for them, but one they built for themselves. Because now, they're the one who can't walk away. Now, they are the one questioning everything. Now, they are the one searching for something they will never find. And you are free. That is the transformation. That is the moment when the chains snap. Not around your wrists, but around theirs. That is when the illusion shatters. Not in your mind, but in theirs. That is when they realize, too late, that you were never the prey to begin with. They chased a fire, only to find themselves burned. They set the trap, only to become its prisoner. And now they will suffer in the maze of their own making, while you walk away, untouched, unshaken, and unstoppable. Number 9. The eye-opener, when they realize you were never theirs to own. A fool grieves not what he has lost, but what he never truly possessed. They thought they had you, thought they could hold you, claim you, make you theirs, thought they could weave their lies around you like a web, and you would stay, trapped, tangled, powerless. But now the illusion has shattered. Now the truth has hit them like a force they were never prepared to face. You were never theirs. You were never within their reach. And now that realization is eating them alive. This is the moment that destroys them, not when you walked away, not when they lost you, but when they finally understand you were never theirs to begin with. They mistook your presence for weakness, mistook your patience for submission, mistook your silence for compliance. They thought you needed them, thought you were bound to them, thought you would never leave. But you were only ever watching, waiting, studying the game they thought they were winning. And the moment they believed they had you under control, you reminded them who you truly are. A caged bird does not belong to the one who holds it. The moment the door opens, it flies without looking back. Now they sit in the ruins of their own delusion, haunted by the truth they refuse to see. You were never within their grasp. You were never theirs to control, to mold, to break. And that truth burns deeper than any loss, because it forces them to face something they never wanted to admit. They never had power over you. They thought they did, thought their manipulation, their words, their presence was enough to claim you. But the more they tried to pull you close, the further you slipped from their hands. The more they tried to own you, the more you reminded them that you belong to no one. And that is their torment. Not just that you're gone, but that they never truly held you in the first place. A shadow believes it follows the sun until the sun decides to set and leave it behind. Now they replay everything, searching for the moment they lost control. But there was no moment, because control was an illusion from the start. They were living in a dream, and you woke them up. Let them wrestle with that truth. Let them suffer in the silence you left behind. Let them drown in the realization that you were never theirs, not for a moment, not in the beginning, not even when they thought they had won. This is their eye-opener, their breaking point, their reckoning. And you keep walking, untouched, unshaken, undefeated, because you were never meant to be owned, never meant to be caught, never meant to be theirs. And now, they finally know it. Number 10. Power recognizes power. The devil knows who you are. Even the serpent bows when it meets something greater than itself. They knew from the start. The moment you walked in, they felt it. An energy they couldn't name, a presence they couldn't ignore, a force they couldn't tame. They have controlled kings, broken warriors, and twisted the minds of the weak. Yet when they stood before you, something shifted. They thought they had the upper hand, but deep inside, something whispered the truth. This one is different. They tried to deny it. They tried to play their games, pull their tricks, set their traps. But nothing worked the way it always had. You did not flinch. You did not beg. You did not bend. And in that moment they knew they were not the hunter anymore. A lion does not chase a mouse, and a god does not kneel before a ghost. They wanted to control you, but even they must bow before a force greater than their own. They have built their empire on fear, deception, and manipulation. They have fed on the weak and drained the souls of those who couldn't see through their illusions. But you saw everything. You saw them for what they were. Not powerful, not untouchable, not gods, but desperate, hollow, afraid. Because deep down, they have always known, true power does not scream, does not demand, does not deceive. True power simply is. And that is what makes you their greatest nightmare. You do not need their approval, their validation, their recognition. You do not seek revenge. Do not chase them. Do not beg them to understand. You exist, and that alone is enough to dismantle everything they built. A storm does not bow to the wind. It consumes it. They can feel it now. The weight of your presence, the gravity of your being. They wanted to make you feel small, yet they are the ones shrinking in your shadow. They wanted to make you doubt yourself, yet they are the ones questioning everything they thought they knew. They wanted to take your power, yet they are the ones left powerless. You were never meant to play their game. You were never meant to follow their rules. You were born to break the cycle, to stand outside of their control, to walk untouched through the chaos they create. And that is why they fear you. That is why they hate you. That is why they respect you, even if they will never say it. Let them recognize you. Let them bow in silence. Let them carry the weight of knowing they have finally met something greater. Because you were never beneath them. They have always known it. And now, so do you. Number 11. From fear to fascination. Why they can't let you go. The most dangerous addiction is not to a substance, but to a presence that exposes what you lack. They feared you at first, feared what they couldn't control, feared the way you stood, unshaken, when they expected you to kneel, feared the way their usual tricks, their well-crafted illusions, their polished lies had no effect on you. They feared the way you saw through them, the way you never flinched, the way you never fell. But fear has a way of twisting into something darker, something deeper. Now, it isn't fear that keeps them up at night. It's obsession. You are not a choice to them anymore. You are a necessity. You are not someone they simply want. You are someone they cannot function without. You have become their addiction, their torment, their reckoning. They should have walked away. They should have left you alone. But they can't. They won't. Because now they have tasted something they can never replace. A man drowning in darkness will mistake the sun for salvation, even as it burns him alive. They don't know what to do with you. You are not like the others. The others begged. The others chased. The others fell in line. But you walked away, untouched. And that is what drives them mad. Not your presence, but your absence. Not what you gave, but what you refused to give. They crave you because you never needed them. They hunger for you because they could never consume you. They tell themselves they have moved on. They pretend they have forgotten. They try to fill the void you left with distractions, with replacements, with hollow imitations of what they once had in front of them. But nothing works. No one else compares. No one else leaves them feeling raw, exposed, seen the way you did. A caged beast does not mourn its freedom. It mourns the one who showed it what freedom felt like. They want to break you, but more than that, they want to understand you. They want to know why you don't fall like the rest, why their usual weapons don't work on you, why you walk through the fire without being burned. You are the only puzzle they have never been able to solve, the only mystery that has ever kept them awake at night. And that is why they can't let you go. Because to let you go would be to admit defeat. To let you go would be to accept that they were never as powerful as they believed. To let you go would be to face the truth that you were never theirs, that you never would be, that you were always something beyond their grasp. So, let them chase, let them hunger, let them drown in their own obsession, because you were never theirs to lose. And now they will spend eternity trying to replace what they were never meant to have. Number 12. They wanted a puppet, but you were born a king. They gave you strings, thinking you would dance, but you were never made to be controlled. They tried to shape you, mold you, rewrite you. They whispered in your ear, hoping you would follow their script. They pulled the strings, expecting you to move. But the moment you refused, the moment you stood in your own power, they realized they never had control over you. And that terrifies them, because they don't fear your weakness. They don't fear your silence. They don't fear your submission. They fear your independence. They fear your strength. They fear the moment you realize you were never meant to be one of them, never meant to be controlled, never meant to play the role they tried to force on you. A lion does not take orders from sheep, and a king does not bow to fools. They wanted a puppet, someone they could command, someone they could manipulate, someone who would move when they pulled the strings. But you were born with a crown. You were born with a fire they could never extinguish. You were born to lead, not follow. And that is why they fear you. They see you walking away from their games. They see you tearing down their illusions. They see you standing firm, refusing to play by their rules. And they hate it, because they can control the weak. They can manipulate the desperate. But they have no power over someone who refuses to kneel. They do not fear your obedience. They fear the day you wake up and realize you were never one of them. They will try again. They will try to rewrite your story, to convince you that you need them, that you belong under their thumb, that your power is dangerous. But the truth? The only thing dangerous about you is what happens when you finally step into who you were, always meant to be. You were never meant to live under their rules. You were never meant to move at their command. You were never meant to be anything less than unstoppable. And now, they see it, they feel it, and they are afraid. Let them be. Let them watch as you walk away. Let them choke on their own lies. Let them crumble under the weight of the truth. You were never theirs to control. So keep rising, keep leading, keep proving that the only mistake they ever made was believing you would be anything less than a king. Number 13. The final awakening, when the chains no longer hold you. The greatest betrayal to your enemy is not your hatred, it is your indifference. They thought they had you. They thought their chains were strong enough, their illusions deep enough, their grip unbreakable. They believed that no matter what, you would stay bound, stay stuck, stay within reach. But the moment you woke up, the moment you saw through the game, the moment you stopped playing along, that was the moment they lost everything. Because they never had power over you. They only had power over the version of you that hadn't yet awakened. They had control over the part of you that still questioned, still doubted, still feared. But the second you saw them for what they truly were, the second you stepped back and realized that you were never caged to begin with, the chains crumbled. And with them, so did they. A prison is not built of walls, it is built of belief. The moment you stop believing in their power, you are free. And that is what terrifies them most. Not that you walked away, not that you left, but that you took their power with you. They spent so much time building themselves up, convincing themselves that they were untouchable, that they were the ones in control. But now they stand in the ruins of their own illusion, staring at the empty space where you used to be. And for the first time, they feel small, weak, forgotten. They will try to pull you back. They will whisper your name in the shadows, hoping you still listen. They will reach for you with old tricks, old lies, old wounds, hoping something still binds you to them. But it won't work. Not anymore. Because once you have seen the truth, you cannot unsee it. Once you have felt freedom, you cannot go back to chains. A master without a servant is just a man. A devil without a victim is nothing at all. You are untouchable now, not because you fought them, not because you destroyed them, but because you outgrew them. Because you no longer fit in the small world they tried to keep you in. Because their control was never real. And now, neither is your fear. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them suffer under the weight of their own emptiness. They wanted power, but the only real power was the one you carried within you all along. And now you walk away, untouched, unshaken, undefeated. They thought they had you, but in the end, they only had themselves. Number 14. The chosen ones rise, walking unshaken in a world that fears you. The lion does not ask permission to roar. The storm does not apologize for its thunder. They do not understand you, and they never will. They whisper, they watch, they wonder. How do you move through this world untouched? How do you stand tall when they have done everything to bring you to your knees? How do you keep rising, keep shining, keep walking through fire without a single burn? It terrifies them. Not because you are dangerous, but because you cannot be controlled. The world was built to break people like you. It was designed to tame your spirit, to bend your will, to make you doubt the power you hold. but they failed. Every trick, every test, every weapon formed against you has crumbled at your feet. They have tried everything: lies, manipulation, isolation, betrayal. But here you are, standing taller than ever. The greatest fear of the weak is not their enemy. It is the presence of someone they cannot shake. You don't just exist, you shift the atmosphere. You enter a room and everything changes. People become uneasy, not because you do anything, but because they feel something, a force, a power, an energy that refuses to bow. They see their own weakness reflected in your strength. They feel their illusions crack in the presence of your truth. They have always feared what they could not break. And you are unbreakable. They want you to doubt yourself. They want you to shrink, to second guess, to believe that you are too much. But you were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to play by their rules. You were meant to rise, to be undeniable, to stand so firm in your power that no lie, no attack, no illusion could ever shake you. The eagle does not fear the storm. It uses it to rise higher. You have walked through fire, but the flames only purified you. You have been tested, but the trials only made you stronger. You have been abandoned, betrayed, and underestimated. But now, the same people who tried to bury you are watching in fear as you bloom. You were never ordinary, and that is why they fear you. Not because of what you say, not because of what you do, but because of what you are. A force that cannot be ignored, a light that cannot be dimmed, a presence that cannot be erased. Let them watch, let them whisper, let them wonder how you keep rising. They do not need to understand you. They do not need to accept you. Because the truth is, you were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be undeniable. Number 15. Your presence alone is a revolution. Keep rising, keep walking, keep shining. A storm does not ask for permission to shake the earth, and neither do you. You never had to fight for attention. You never had to scream to be heard. Your presence alone was enough to shift the atmosphere. The moment you walked in, everything changed. The weak felt exposed. The wicked felt watched. And the lost, they felt something they hadn't in years: hope. You are not just seen, you are felt. And that is why they cannot handle you. That is why they fear you. That is why they want to silence you. But you cannot be silenced. You cannot be erased. You cannot be undone. They have tried. They have whispered. They have plotted. They have sent everything they have at you: doubt, fear, betrayal, lies. But what they don't understand is that every attack only made you stronger. Every loss only made you wiser. Every setback only sharpened the fire in your soul. They thought they were breaking you, but all they did was teach you how to rise faster. A lion does not explain its roar to sheep. They want to know why you keep going, why nothing destroys you, why you don't fade like the rest. But they will never understand, because they have never walked through the fire and come out untouched. They have never been tested and remained standing. They have never been chosen, and that is the truth they fear most. That no matter what they do, no matter how much they throw at you, no matter how many times they try to pull you down, you will keep rising. You are the revolution they never saw coming. You shake the foundation of everything they built on lies. You are a force that cannot be controlled, a fire that cannot be contained, a storm that does not ask for permission before it turns everything upside down. They wanted you quiet. They wanted you weak. They wanted you gone. But here you are, still standing, still shining, still walking forward like nothing they did even mattered. They called it defiance. You call it destiny. The world was never meant to handle you. That's why you make people uncomfortable. That's why they either hate you or obsess over you. That's why you are either deeply loved or deeply feared, because nobody meets you and remains the same. So keep walking, keep rising, keep shining, because every step you take forward is another reminder that they never had the power to stop you. They never could. And now, they finally know it. And that's the truth they can never escape. You were never one of them, and you never will be. While they fear what they don't understand, you rise without apology. Let them watch, let them whisper, let them wonder, because nothing they do can stop what's already written. If this message speaks to you, drop the number 77 in the comments and let the world know the chosen ones are rising. Like, subscribe, and share. When you do, you signal to YouTube that this truth cannot be silenced. Keep walking, keep shining, because they were never ready for you.